You've made it to episode 3 of A Little Something from Jason Sims. Achievement unlocked. Once again, this thing's no big whoop. It's just a guy in his house saying some words he wrote into his phone and having it beamed all over the planet via the most advanced communication system ever created by humankind. No big whoop. The diversion I offer you today is called Fun Facts. Here are some fun facts you can talk about at parties. It's good to have impersonal but interesting things on deck to talk about at parties to prevent you from accidentally revealing anything about your interior life in a social setting. Revealing things about your true, unguarded self in public is like pulling on a thread on your sweater if that sweater was the only article of clothing you were going to be allowed to wear for the rest of your life, and if it unraveled, you'd be left naked until you died, possibly from exposure. So don't do that. Fun fact. George R.R. Martin's Song of Fire and Ice novels, the basis of the HBO TV series Game of Thrones, were originally created as a promotion for the Lando Frost brand of lunch meats. The plan was to release one chapter a month inside 1-pound packages of the brand's premium lunch meats. The books were exactly like they are now, except they were set in the Lando Frost instead of Westeros, and the giant wall was made out of frozen ham and water product. The deal fell through once a Lando Frost executive started reading the proposed chapters and realized the amount of sex and violence in them. He was disappointed and wanted Martin to change them. He wanted Martin to add a lot more of both. But Martin refused on the grounds that this would be gratuitous and pandering, so he and the brand parted ways, and the rest is fictional history. Also, that executive doesn't work there anymore. He had some HR problems. Fun fact. Raccoons aren't from Earth. They're actually descended from a handful of surviving members from the crew of an alien armada which mounted an unsuccessful invasion of our planet more than 3,000 years ago. Turns out the calibration of one of their planetary viewer screens was way off, and they thought we were a lot smaller than we are, like about the size of field mice. They wildly underestimated the number of troops they would need, so the invasion was a total disaster. The exact details of the peace treaty which ended the hours-long war have been lost to the shadows of time, but we do know that they agreed to brand themselves with bandit masks as a sign of repentance for trying to steal our planet, and they also agreed to eat our trash. Now that last thing was actually kind of shrewd on their parts because they love to eat trash. You got us on that one, Raccoons. Fun fact. I was born on Christmas Eve. Now, my immediate family has a tradition of all going out for a meal together when one of us has a birthday. However, due to various circumstances, I found myself alone this most recent Christmas Eve. So I decided to go have sushi for lunch by myself. Now, thankfully, my favorite spot was open. It was kind of dead because it was Christmas Eve. There was one other couple in the other dining room, but I was basically alone in my dining room. The sushi was good, but not as good as if I'd had someone to share it with, kind of like the moments of your life. Anyway, at the end of the meal, I gave the server my card, and as she walked away, the details of my situation started to crystallize in my head that I was sitting alone in a booth in an empty room on Christmas Eve and my birthday. And at that moment, Simon and Garfunkel's The Sound of Silence came on the overhead speaker. And it wasn't even the real one. It was the Muzak instrumental version. And I was like, really? If that was in a movie, it would get noted out of the final cut for being too on the nose. But this is a real thing that really happened to me, so I don't know what to tell you. I just noticed a loose thread on my sweater. Fun fact. Humans have over 600 teeth. Isn't it weird that you've never noticed that before? I know it sounds like I just panicked and made that up on the spur of the moment, but I didn't. Really, just go look in your mirror right now and see for yourself. I'm done talking now.